What is going on, you guys? FitnessKensho in the building. Now, I know I haven't been on YouTube for a while. I had to take a break just because, like, I work a full-time job overnight and I do personal training during the day as well. So it took me a while to, like, actually, you know, have time to edit videos. My overnight job is kind of like where I used to bang out a couple edits here and there and just get the videos out. But my responsibilities went up a little bit and I got a little more busier. Therefore, I had to pretty much break away from YouTube and just focus on one thing. But the video I'm bringing you guys today, a lot of people have been asking me how do I cut my stringers and my t-shirts into stringers. And like this one that I have right here, Spider-Man, I bought this one from Walmart. And as you can see, it looks like I bought it kind of like this to work out. So I'm gonna teach you guys how to take this t-shirt right here and turn it into a stringer. Stay tuned, guys. All right, guys, so first things first, things that we're gonna need. We're gonna need either a measuring tape or a ruler, whichever one works. You're gonna need a Sharpie, and then you're gonna need a pair of scissors. Now, the way we're gonna guide this, the first thing you wanna do with the shirt, you wanna pretty much wear it, just kinda like get where you actually wanna make your cuts at. So, I'm gonna wear this t-shirt, and typically, when I cut my stringers, I like my chest to show out a little bit when I'm in the gym. So if you find your sternum, which should be right about here for me, I'm gonna put a little dot right there because that's how low I want my stringer to be. So I'll just put a dot right here just so I can remember how it looks. Right over here. Boom. Got one dot, and then I honestly don't like my whole oblique showing when I'm doing this, when I'm actually wearing a stringer. So I'm gonna put mine right about here, maybe mid oblique. So I'll put a line right there. So now we have our 2 points of how we're gonna cut this t-shirt, or kind of like where we're gonna, what kind of look we're gonna give to the actual stringer. So stay tuned, I'm gonna bring you guys a little closer while we make the rest of the adjustments in order to make the cuts to make this thing into a stringer. Alright guys, so pretty much we have our points right here. We got the little dot here for the sternum. And then I kind of messed this up a little bit, but I kind of wanted to put it right here on the edge. So I'm going to just correct that real quick. So I'll just put this right here. Now we're going to need our measuring tape because we want to make the same point that we make over here as well. So either your measuring tape or ruler, just get it as straight as possible. And then make the other point right here. So this is how low our stringer is gonna go, so it doesn't show our entire oblique. It's just gonna be right here, and then gonna cross over here. So now, let's pretty much work on the collar. Now, the collar is gonna be very important. I usually use it as a guideline as far as I pretty much cut the collar off, but I use it as a guideline to how I'm gonna have this little thing coming over here, right? So, my sternum dot is right here, so I'm gonna just make it into a straight line, because that's how I want it to be. And then, I'm just gonna outline around the collar, coming down, same thing on the other side. So you want to make like kind of a straight line. And until you get to like about where your chest is gonna be, that's when you're gonna start curving it a little bit. So right here, and then we're gonna curve it a little bit circular here until we meet that point that we made towards the sternum here. Same thing on this side, and then we're just gonna curve that over. So now this is pretty much how the string is gonna be. We'll just put it a little bit higher here. And now, usually what I do is, you can actually use a measuring tape or a ruler, but I usually like to leave about 1 inch. So I'll measure from the black line that I made up here all the way to down here, about 1 inch. And that usually gives me a good length. It's not too thin, it's not too thick. So I'm gonna eyeball this because I kind of like know what 1 inch looks like anyway. So I'm gonna do this right here, and I'm gonna do the same exact thing. Let it come down. Pretty much follow the same line you made right here. But it's just gonna be a little more straighter. And then when you see that it starts curving this way, that's how you're gonna curve it that way as well. So I'm gonna just start curving it a little bit here. loosening this one up a little bit too. There we go. So, as you guys can see how the string is looking already, this is pretty much the right side already. I'm gonna knock this out real quick for you guys. I'll probably fast forward it so you guys, we don't make this video longer than what it needs to be. So let me just knock this out for you guys. Alright, so as you guys can see, pretty much this is already outlined how we want our string to look. Now let's look at the, let's focus on the back now. Now one thing you're gonna have to do is that same line right here, just pretty much mirror it the same exact way of where it's at. Just because it's gonna help you keep the same consistency from the front all the way to the back. We're gonna ignore that little mark that I made when I had the shirt off. Who cares? It's something I'm gonna wear at the gym, so it's not gonna be too crazy. Like, who cares if it has a black mark, right? So now, oh, actually, before I forget, we're gonna do the same thing we did here that we guided the line. We're gonna do that with these two right here as well. Bring it up a little bit, boom, and up right here as well. So again, we have the same consistency from the front all the way to the back. All right, so now let's flip this thing over. So now, pretty much all you can do here, you got two options what you can do. You can actually leave the shirt the same outline you had in the front and do the same thing in the back and just cut it up. Like, you can usually just literally just use these lines that you have here and just cut it, but it's gonna look identical to how this is gonna look from front to back. I like my stringers to have a little more like a stringer look where your back kind of is insinuated a little bit more and you can actually see like more of your back definition. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is that I got my lines here, and typically like typical stringers have like about maybe 3 inches on the back here. So I am gonna make 2 dots here. Right here and right here. That's about 3 inches, 3 inches and a half. So now what I'm gonna do is that this line right here, I'm gonna bring it a little bit in until I meet that dot that I have there in the middle. Boom. And I'm gonna do the same thing with this one right here. Alright, so now you guys can see how kind of it's looking. So all I'm gonna do is go right here, come a little bit further down, and then connect it with this one. So straight line all the way down. Grab this one a little closer as well. And again, guys, this thing doesn't have to be perfect, honestly. Like, your cuts have to be perfect, but the actual outlining, just use your best judgment. So that's how that one's gonna look. I'm gonna knock out this one, and then I'll probably speed up this video here so you guys are not trying to make this video any longer than what it needs to be. Okay, so now we got our outlines. So now we're gonna pretty much cut our shirt. So I'll do a few cuts here for you guys, and then I'll speed the rest of the video up so that you guys can just see the finished product. So I'm gonna just cut this part right here. So you always wanna cut outside of the line so that you don't see those black lines when you're wearing the actual shirt. So you wanna cut that, and then you want to split the front and the back, because again, the cuts in the front are going to be a little bit different than what they're in the back. And then we're just going to cut outside that line. Also, get yourself a good pair of scissors. Don't get yourself some cheap ass scissors that you got from the dollar store that don't cut fabric pretty well. Like this is a great scissor. It's literally like heavy duty and it cuts through almost anything. So get yourselves a good pair of scissors. And take your time when you're cutting too. Don't try to rush it, because if you rush it, you're gonna look like a fool in the gym, and it's gonna look like you were Tasmanian devil or something and you just ripped the shirt apart. And there you guys go. So pretty much, as you guys can see, that's how it's gonna cut, and that's how it's gonna pretty much look. So I'm gonna cut the rest of this, and then I'm gonna pretty much bring you guys back in and show you guys the finished product here. Alright, and here we have it, guys. Now, I got a quick confession. I did cut it a little bit too low. I might have had to bring, when I put it on initially, I had to like bring it down a little bit just so I could get the exact measurement. So maybe I put it down a little bit too low. But exactly where I found it on the sternum, where I had it on my sternum, I cut it a little bit too low. So my whole titty was out, my nipples was hanging. So the good thing about making your own string is that you can still make the adjustments. I'm gonna bring this a little bit closer. So if you guys see, I got these little knots right here. So pretty much all I did was tighten it down a little bit and brought it up a little bit just so my chest is not sticking out everywhere. So let me give you guys pretty much the first look on the stringer. So, throw this bad boy on. And there you guys have it. See how it's thin right here? It still shows the pecs. Covers the nipples, you know, because you don't want to be having a nip slip at the gym. If you look at the back, looks like your perfect stringer. The lats are, you can see the lats, the back definition. So if you're doing your rows or it's like a back day, you want to see how the pump is looking. It looks perfect, and the good space on the chest. So this is how I usually wear my stringers. These little knots right here, they don't even bother me. It's like they're not even there, honestly. So this is how you guys do it. So my suggestions for you guys would be pretty much grab a shirt, practice. Grab a shirt, buy a shirt maybe for like $5, $3 or something like that. Something you definitely don't want. Don't mess up a shirt. Don't try your first attempt with a shirt that you actually like, because then you fuck it up. You're gonna be so mad at yourself. And I don't want to get dislikes on this video because you fucked up your shirt, alright? So now, last thing I wanted to point out was that if you do cut your stringer into a perfect one, and you're like, okay, I like how this one looks, now you can keep these and you can kind of use it as a guideline. So you can probably put these on a shirt and pretty much outline it the same way, especially this if you wanna, if you get it right. Don't do it like me. I kind of put it a little bit too low, so this kind of will be useless for me. But if you do cut the perfect stringer, keep these and you just use them as an outline and you can put them on for future shirts. Alright guys, so that concludes the video. I hope this tutorial or instructional was helpful for you guys, so that you guys can cut your own stringers and look fly at the gym and look comfortable. So with that being said, I'm gonna conclude the video here. I might get into more YouTube videos in the near future when my availability opens up a little bit more. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe if you're new, obviously, and check out my older videos. I dropped a bunch of tutorials, a bunch of meal preps, a bunch of motivational talks and stuff like that, just to help people get from point A to point B in their fitness journey. So I'll see you guys later, and you guys have a good day.
What is impossible? Nothing. Anything is possible. We see people come from nothing every day. We see people start off with nothing in their pockets, but before they die,